Do it.
Do it!
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Before we begin, just a quick reminder that if you're a fan of this channel and enjoy its content, there's two other channels that I also run. The first is called NOMZ. It's where I talk about video games, gaming news, and respond to others about gaming. The other is AI Core, which is where I archive all past episodes of this channel's podcast for those of you who enjoy it. So check them out at your leisure. Thanks for waiting. Now on to the video. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's your pal NOMZ here, and today we are back talking about The Mandalorian, so dust off the dislike button, get ready to unsubscribe, because, yep, we're doing it again, and yep, I'd expect nothing less, but it's not going to discourage me because I'm here every week talking about The Mandalorian, telling the truth, like it or not, telling the fucking truth, so deal with it. And yeah, I stand by everything I said. Dislike bomb to hell as my video was, I stand by the fact that the last episode was the worst in the season. You cannot justify to me how Mando forgets his jetpack for the rest of that shitty episode to occur. You can like Boba Fett all you want, but he makes no sense being there. It makes no sense that he would help Mando. It makes no sense that he was able to track Mando there. It makes no sense why he'd find Mulan's voice actress, heal her, and have her as his bloody sidekick. It makes no sense how Moff Gideon got the tracker onto Mando's ship because he just so happened to have two informants as the first people Mando sees when he lands on Navarro. Alright? None of that makes sense. And that's not even talking about the other episodes earlier in the series that didn't make any sense. The olive branch I will throw you is that I did like episode 5 with Ahsoka, but just about everything good that's been happening in The Mandalorian Season 2 has been only... Well, it was recently announced today that it was being served for other purposes. Chances are we're never going to see Ahsoka in The Mandalorian again. Not in this season anyway, because she served her purpose. She had one episode, and now Disney have announced the Ahsoka series starring Rosario Dawson. I love the actress. I love the character. I do not like the marketing. I don't like retrospectively what they did with her here. And it was really telling for the whole rest of the season. Cobb Vanth. Timothy Oliphant's character, mark my words, next year, same time this year, he's going to get his own fucking series because he was positively received. The Bad Batch from Clone Wars Season 1, granted this is the Clone Wars, sorry, I should probably say this is Act 1 of Season 7 of the Clone Wars. The Bad Batch is getting their own spin-off. Republic Rangers is getting their own spin-off. Probably Cara Dune's going to be in there with the bloody X-Wing fighters with that Dave Filoni cameoed as. They're going to do a spin-off of those guys. The New Republic Rangers. And it doesn't stop there. Like, mark my words, next year, Boba Fett spin-off is probably going to be a thing. Mulan's voice actress's character, she's probably going to get her own series. It doesn't stop. Mando is, and up until Season 2, Mando was just a bucket head with a glorified toy to sell people. That was the series. There's no development. It went nowhere, and it was just it was such a pointless season. Season 1, it went nowhere. Nothing happened. It dragged, and everything it tried to do good, it fucked up. All right, I only really liked episode 3 from Season 1. The rest was shit. I liked episode 5 in this season. The rest were at best mediocre, at the worst terrible, like last week's episode was. You had a stormtrooper shooting a boulder that flattened it and refused to move out of the way. But I guess that's okay, right? So what did I think of Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 7? It wasn't as bad as Season 2, Episode 6, but at the same time, this episode didn't really try to do anything ultra, to be perfectly honest, nothing really much happens in this episode. Like Episode 2, it felt very pointless. They had to get a guy to go get a thing. That's the episode. Everything shit leading up to it has pretty much already happened. So now that the pieces are in play, they just have to run with it. Most of the issues I have with Episode 7 come from Episode 6 and Episode 4, because Well, these pieces wouldn't be in play if those episodes didn't very shittily, set them up to be there. Because what I'm trying to say is that The Mandalorian hasn't earned its, group, tag team, Boba Fett, Mandalorian, Cara Dune, Avengers style Firefly crew roaming the galaxy. It just happened, and people are friends now because yay, and we'll get back to that. So it starts off with them finding Bill Burr in the scrapyard because Mando got him imprisoned last season, and somehow Cara Dune freed him. All we get on that is, I bent a lot of rules to get you out. Now, Cara Dune just joined the Republic again. Well, sorry, the New Republic, and she just became a marshal on a different planet, and she has the pull to release a very highly dangerous prisoner from the Republic, from the scrapyards, from imprisonment. This does not, I'd have to suspend a lot of disbelief. I figured freeing a prisoner would come from a much higher up individual, but we don't get anything on that because, fuck explanations. This is Disney we're talking about. It just happens. So he gets released. They need him, because he's ex-Imperial, to help them find Moff Gideon's ship because he took Grogu, aka Baby Yoda, alright? And Mando put him in prison, so I don't know why he'd help them, but okay. Because he has no investment in Baby Yoda, and Cara Dune's like, they have his kid. He shouldn't care. But he's like, oh, okay, well, maybe I can... And then he does the logical things, like, what's in it for me? And she's like, you get a different view. Now, I actually kind of like this detail because Cara Dune, even though he's ex-Imperial, Cara Dune has been established to fucking hate Imperials. So I can understand why she has such a disdain for him. That's fine. I got no problem with that. But I just don't understand why he'd help them. He should hate Mando. He should be happy for Mando's suffering. He helps him because plot. He's just happy to get a better view for a couple of extra fucking days. Now, personally, if this was the guy who put me in prison, who double-crossed me, I would say, no, fuck you. I can stay in this joint if I'm not getting out. I'm happy that you're miserable because they took your kid. Ha ha. Goodbye. I'm going to stay in prison and do me. I guess he has a sentence he can work off, unless it's a life imprisonment. I don't know. That would be good. Those would be good details to have, actually. How long's his sentence? When does he get out? Anyway, so he says, okay, there's a covert Imperial mining facility on MORONIC. And I don't know what this planet is. I don't know if it's in the EU. So they go to MORONIC. Boba Fett drives them there, or flies them there, whatever. And look, I'm not going to lie, having Temuera Morrison as Boba Fett's, even though it makes no sense for him to be there, that's not the fault of this episode, that's the fault of other episodes. Having him in there was honestly kind of cool. I'm not going to lie. I enjoy the actor. And Boba Fett seems to be mostly competent, even though he could have just taken his goddamn armor because Mando left his ship unlocked. But yeah, so not to mention, what really bugs me is that he shouldn't really be helping Mando to begin with, but he's there, he's helping him. He says things like, copy that, or on my way, or hold on tight, or I like Boba Fett's. I like his dialogue. I like the way Temuera Morrison portrays him. That's fine. But he takes them to MORONIC. They scout out a plan to break into the refinery, and apparently they need to use a terminal that, is going to need to scan your face. And they scan faces on the way in as well, so they need to go in with people who aren't recognized on Imperial or Republic computers or disk drives or whatever. So, because Bill Burr is essentially ex-Empire, I think he can go in, and that's okay. Cara Dune's a New Republic officer, she is a New Republic officer, but she's also ex-Republic, ex-Rebellion, obviously, so she can't go in. Fennec is wanted. Boba Fett says, "Don't even ask," which I kind of like that line. I'm not gonna lie. And then Mando's like, "Well, I'll go with you, but I'm not going to show my face." So they hijack. We're going to get to a stupid part now. They hijack a convoy. There's a convoy of long Imperial transports that are carrying Rhydonian, which is like a flammable substance that they're mining there that can be used for, I imagine, for starfighter fuel and things like that. Anyway, so they hijack one of those. Gina Carano helps them. They stop in a tunnel when they're out of sight. Mando changes. He just finds a spot behind a corner and changes into an Imperial outfit, so he still has his face covered. Hands Gina Carano his Mando suit, his Beskar, because he trusts her with it, which I think he would by now. I think that's okay. Then he and Bill Burr go to the Empire refinery, and the whole fucking episode, from now on until then, is just Bill Burr mouthing off to Mando, and Mando just sitting there. For a good solid five minutes, he does this. And he's talking about the hypocrisy of Mandalorians and Empire, and how everyone has rules until they get desperate enough to break them. And shit he's not even entirely wrong about. I mean, just look at the Jedi. The Jedi, Mace Windu was ready to kill Emperor Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith because, well, the moment dictated it. Even though that was against the Jedi Code, it wasn't working for him at the time, and he was going to make good on that killing blow until Anakin stopped him. Anyway, so he's not wrong, but I'm just wondering myself, why do we have to stop the episode and listen to this? Like, what purpose does it serve? Anyway, and we get a bit more into this a bit later because Mando actually does need to take his helmet off at some point. And I guess that was a follow-up because we get to a point where, there's no other way and he needs to take his helmet off to, find Baby Yoda. We'll get to that, but the point is, that's the only reason I can see this being brought up. He's just mouthing off and we got to listen to him, and we, the audience, just where is this going? Can you get to the point? Why are you guys making us listen to this? Because it really serves no other purpose, really. And the man is like, let's get something straight. I am not like you. And he's like, yeah, well, we kind of are, because we all have our breaking point when we need to throw aside our morals and just do what we need to do. And then pirates happen, because they're on this remote world. They pass some villagers who hate them because, it doesn't matter if we're Empire or Republic. They hate us because we're invaders on their land. I don't know if that's a Native American reference or something. I don't know. If they're just whatever, it serves no purpose, and whatever. So pirates attack an Imperial convoy on a remote planet, and they blow up 2 Rhydonian convoy vessels before they attack Mando and Bill Burr's convoy Imperial transport. Now here's the really fucking weird part. They're pirates, right? Mando's like, oh, pirates are attacking. Aren't pirates meant to steal the resources and the plunder? Because, well, all they do is they try to hop on from their little barges, which is very reminiscent of Return of the Jedi. They hop on and they're like, oh, we're going to open up the hatch with the Rhydonian and blow it the fuck up. So I'm like, why are you doing this? What do you have to gain from this? But, the episode is getting boring, so guess what? Baddies to fight. So Mando's like, you keep driving, I'll shoot. And then Mando uses his blaster to kill one of them. And then just because they have to show Mando vulnerable without his Beskar, his blaster jams. The first time I've probably ever seen a blaster jam in the entirety of Star Wars. Please, if someone has seen a blaster jam before, let me know, because I was like, his blaster just stops working. He shoots one blaster bullet and then he shoots it again. It's like, I was like, oh. Okay, fist fight time, and for some reason the pirates don't have blasters, they have sticks. Mando kills them all, barely, fends them off before they blow up the ship. And then they come back for a second round, and he does the same, and it's just, okay. It just doesn't really serve any purpose, it's just an action sequence. What I was wondering is where the hell, if this is if this is a convoy route to an Imperial refinery, where the hell, a covert Imperial refinery, why the hell aren't there any, checkpoints or, armored patrols guarding it besides just the vehicles themselves? You think they'd have, several stormtroopers around the craft or inside the craft instead of just 2 pilots? Don't they have, armed escort? Don't they have, walkers, bikes, speeder bikes, whatever? Just where the hell is all the help? And if they own this planet, essentially, where the fuck do these pirates come from? And why would the pirates be stupid enough to attack Imperials who are way more armored and who have explosives and who can call upon TIE fighters? We'll get to that in a second. It's just really fucking weird, and it just kind of shows the Empire to be more incompetent until Mando and Ben Burr actually... Sorry, should I is his name Bill Burr or Ben Burr? Whatever. I think Bill Burr. Anyway, so they make it to the refinery, and then the TIE fighters come on, and then all the stormtrooper infantry comes out to shoot the pirates, and guess what? The stormtroopers can actually, and the TIE fighters can actually hit things these times because they're the protagonists, and it has this really funny, I found it hilarious. It had this really, like, heroic music, like, yeah, Empire, let's go! And the Empire fend off the pirates, who didn't even have blasters, they had sticks. It's just like, oh, so you can hit a target when they're no threat to you, okay. But you can't hit, when other people have guns, they killed all the pirates, but they can't shoot one of the protagonists when they're holding a weapon. It's really fucking funny. So, anyway, what happens next is they go inside and they're hailed as heroes. Like, yeah, they made it back with the convoy and the loot and blah, blah, blah. The Rhydonian, yeah, Empire. It's like a big celebration inside. And then they're about to go to the terminal, which just so happens to be in the officer's mess, which, okay, weird place to put a terminal. Wouldn't they put it in, like, the tech labs or something? Anyway, they need to access an Imperial terminal. Mando is like, okay, you go in there and I'll stand watch. And Mando's still in his disguise at one point. Bill Burr goes in and he's going to do it. He's going to help Mando get Moff Gideon's coordinates. And wait, side note, if this is a covert Imperial base, how the hell did Boba Fett scan it from space? I thought the whole point was that you can't fucking find that shit. But if you can just scan it from space, how the hell is anything a secret? Anyway, so Bill Burr's going to do it, and then he sees an old friend, an officer, which, oh boy, did I hate this guy. One of the most creepy, obnoxious individuals that you'll ever see in Star Wars, and it's a wonder he was ever promoted to officer in the first place. He sees an officer from his past in the in the Empire, and as his time as an Imperial soldier, he's worried he'll get recognized. So he's like, Mando, I can't do this, we have to abort. First off, can't you just go to a different terminal somewhere? That can't be the only terminal in the mess hall that can access, like, Imperial files and shit. That's just, no one's going to make me buy that. Okay, secondly, wait, no, I think that's, oh, yeah, I think that's it, really. But secondly, he's like, Mando tries to convince him, and he's like, no, I'll get recognized, and we'll get made, and then we'll get killed. And then Mando's like, all right, stand aside, I'll do it. And then Mando walks up to the terminal, actually removes his mask, or his helmet, even though it's not his Beskar helmet. He removes his helmet, and he scans his face to get a file from the disk drive from the Imperial terminal. And I did actually like this bit because it shows just how far he's willing to go to rescue Baby Yoda, even though the development between Mando and Grogu, aka Baby Yoda, is spotty at best. Apparently the little creature means the world to him now, means everything, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna jeopardize all my Mandalorian principles, take off my helmet, and, well, there we go. I can access the files, and I can save him. So, does the end justify the means? Yeah, absolutely, but to him, like, it just really feels like Disney just had to have this moment where, like, again, you could find a different terminal. You can't no one's gonna convince me that that there's no other Imperial terminal that they can access. It has to. Or why can't they just wait for him to leave the room? But anyway, they just wanted to show Mando take off his helmet because they're trying to drive home. Yeah, that's the level that those two are willing to go to save each other, Mando and Grogu, because they're best friends. And I was just like, look, I did appreciate the idea though. He has to take off his helmet, break one of his huge principles to get the creature back. But also, like, that's what that conversation before was trying to set up, about people bending their rules when it suits them. It just came completely out of nowhere, and it just felt really contrived. I'm sorry. Anyway, all of a sudden, the officer guy walks up to him and he's like, state your TK number, boy. And Mando's like, my TK number? And Pedro Pascal's standing there looking like an idiot. And then Bill Burr comes over and he's like, hey, yeah, no, sorry. And he knows all the Imperial protocols and what to say, so he takes the reins and he sort of swindles the officer. And then the officer's like, I didn't dismiss you. You guys are the ones who brought in the Rhydonian, right? Let's all have a drink. And then Gina Carano and Mulan's voice actress are outside, snipers on the refinery, waiting for them to exit to the roof. That's a good plan. They retreat to the roof. They shoot anyone who's manning the cannons or pursuing them. I like that. That's fine. And then Boba Fett swoops in, obviously, when the time is right. So they're having a drink, and while they're having a drink, get this, this made me laugh because I actually got the reference. This dipshit officer, no, sorry, it's actually Bill Burr. While this dipshit officer is preaching about the might of the Empire and the morals and how everyone needs order and blah, 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 Bill Burr's character actually brings up Operation Cinder. Now, riddle me this, Mandalorian fanatics. You know, the people who don't actually watch what's happening on screen or listen because they're just happy to see Boba Fett back, blah, blah, blah. 10 out of 10. Bucket heads and cute creatures equals 10 out of 10 for Mandalorian fanatics. Anyway, riddle me this. Operation Cinder. Anyone played Star Wars Battlefront 2 EA? Because I did. I even re-uploaded a video about it recently. Check it out. I played it, and it had one of the dumbest fucking storylines I've ever seen, because it follows this Special Forces operative called Iden Versio. She's hardcore Empire until she's not. What tells her not to be an Empire person anymore is after the Death Star was blown up, Operation Cinder happens. You know what Operation Cinder is? Well, because the Empire is such a pussy that it can't kill any meaningful rebel targets, it says, alright, we're going to attack our own loyal people because we're evil and because they will remember, hey, we still got it. So they actually torch their own planets. Empire loyal planets. That's Operation Cinder. They burn innocent Empire planets to cinder. And then Iden's like, yeah, no, fuck the Empire. The Empire's bogus. Let's go. Not only is that just stupid because it's only going to create more rebels, but it's the dumbest, most pussy-ass fucking move the Empire could do. And it makes them look like chumps. And Disney actually thought it was a good idea to reference. Seriously, the less said about Operation Cinder, the better. Alright? He references Operation Cinder, and this is where Bill Burr does like a face turn, where he goes from being a bad guy to a good guy, and he talks about his past. He's like, all the people, all those lives that were lost in Operation Cinder, was it good for them? Was the Empire good for them then? And then he's like, well, we're alive and they're not, son. That's Bill Burr talking to the officer. And then Bill Burr's like, ha ha ha. And then Bill Burr just shoots the officer point blank. And he's like, And then Mando's like, okay. And then the shootout starts. The stormtroopers all of a sudden can't hit anything anymore. They escape to the roof. Yeah, I liked how they escaped with the cover from the snipers. That was alright. Then Boba Fett swoops in, picks them up. And then, this is really fucking stupid. So this refinery, it collects flammable materials. And then Bill Burr's like, can I borrow that cycler rifle for a moment? Which is a gun in Battlefront 2 also. Which is, yeah. And I guess it's the gun that Mando was using on Tatooine. Boba Fett was using on Tatooine because the gun was from Slave 1. Anyway, he gets given the cycler rifle, and then Bill Burr, like, aims, like, sharpshoots the Rhydonium that they collected. It's on the roof of the refinery. So what happens is Bill Burr, he's not far away, by the way. He's just, like, right above the Rhydonium, and he's just, like, he aims at one of the exposed tanks, and he shoots it, and he blows up the refinery and all the Rhydonium with one shot, because the Empire were dumb enough to leave their fucking precious flammable material on top of the facility instead of under it somewhere until it's ready to be transported off-world. No. They leave it out in the open for pirates or fucking assaulting X-Wings to shoot at and blow up its own facility. And then, despite Gina Carano hating Empire and ex-Empire people, she sees this shot of Bill Burr shooting the Rhydonium. It's a pretty easy shot. He makes it, and she's like, I don't know, maybe it makes her moist between the thighs or something. Because all of a sudden she doesn't hate him anymore. She smiles, she gives him a little nod as he does it. And I'm just like, oh no, they're all gonna kiss and make up at the end, aren't they? Which is what happens, we'll get to that. And then Boba Fett's flying away as two TIE fighters pursue them. And this is the one part that I actually liked. Boba Fett flies right up into the air, and he drops one of those seismic charges that Obi-Wan was battling against with Jango Fett in Attack of the Clones. He releases the seismic charge, and as it blows up, you get that delayed sound effect, and the Ben Burt fucking classic George Lucas prequel era bong. Sorry, that sounded stupid. You know, it's that big explosion in space, and it wipes out both TIE fighters at the same time. That was cool, and I appreciated the sound effect, and it was good to see that. I was like, yeah, okay, cool good prequel reference. You know, Boba takes after his dad. You know, it was used practically. Okay. So the TIE fighters get blown up. The refinery's in pieces. Mando and Bill Burr escape. And then, well, Boba Fett parks. Gina Carano says, okay, well, what do we do now? And then Bill Burr's like, okay, you're going to take me back to prison? And she's like, no, you died in the refinery. And then Mando's like, yep. Even though Bill Burr has seen his face and knows what he looks like, and he's the only person alive who knows what Mando's face looks like now, although it would be in the Imperial records. Oh god, that's a huge fuck up. So, because there's no second terminal, Mando essentially plastered his face to all of the Imperial records. So now the entire Empire knows what he looks like, and all of this could have been avoided if there was a second terminal. You can't tell me there wasn't a second terminal in that base. You just can't. I'm sorry, fanatics. It ain't gonna work. Alright? It's shit. It's shit writing, and that's the only reason they're gonna use that later, because, oh, guess what, everyone? He's wanted. He can't ever show his face anymore because he's wanted by the Empire, and, you know, now he's on Imperial records, and he's a wanted man, and people are gonna have bounties on him, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, they set Bill Burr free. He goes off into the wilderness. They don't even take him off. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm escaping really pissed off Empire people on this planet, but sure, leave me on it, and I'll just find my way off world somehow if the Imperials don't pick me up first. But okay, it's just weird that they just drop him off there. One of those taken to a spaceport or something. And then they go back. Then the whole fucking Firefly crew with Mando, Cara Dune, Fennec, and fucking Boba Fett, they fly off into the stars. You know, everyone's best friends now, just like Gina Carano's best friends with Bill Burr, who she hated like a day ago. And that changed because he shot a barrel and it blew up. Yes, that's all it took. And then we go to Moff Gideon's ship, and then he gets a transmission from Mando, because Mando knows where to find him and what his frequency is now, and we get Mando. I'll admit, it was a pretty cool speech, and Mando like, hey, you have something of mine. It will be mine again. You don't know how much it means to me, blah, blah, blah. It's the echo of what Moff Gideon said to him back in Season 1, Episode 7, which I actually liked that, and then Moff Gideon actually looks a bit concerned, which I don't know why. Mando's an idiot, and he's always incompetent, so I don't know why he'd be scared. The whole reason he has Baby Yoda is because he forgot his jetpack after all. I'm never going to let that go. I'm sorry. And then the episode is over. It wasn't as bad as the episode where Mandalorian forgot his jetpack and let the Dark Troopers escape with Baby Yoda completely unchallenged. And the episode where Boba Fett agrees to help him despite nearly coming to shots with him earlier in the movie, when he could have just taken his armor and been on his way because Mando forgot to lock his ship. And after, Boba Fett had no business being there anyway because he didn't track Mando to fucking Tython to begin with, because he wasn't interested in the armor at that point because he would have got it back from the Jabbas. No, it wasn't as bad as that episode. Was it a good episode? It might have had one or two good things in it. Was it a terrible episode? There were some parts that were just fucking ludicrous. But no, I'd say this episode was pointless, overly stretched out, had a number of poor design choices, and was incredibly mediocre at best. But it was an okay episode. If I see any more fucking 10 out of 10s, I'm gonna lose my mind. Seriously. It was a pointless, stupid episode that wasn't offensively bad, okay? That's what this episode of Mando was. Alright, I told you, I don't lie. I tell the truth. And next week, which I think is the series finale, I'm going to tell the truth again, whether it's good, bad, fantastic, or god-awful. I've liked Mandalorian episodes in the past. I've hated most of them. You got to deal with it. I'm not here to be your echo chamber. I saw someone say, I don't subscribe from NOMZ because, I mean, I used to like him because he liked the prequels, but now he hates every Mandalorian episode, and now I feel like I can't like things anymore. You can like whatever you want, but you should never subscribe to someone who's just going to feed you back what you want to hear. Alright? You should have subscribed to someone because you like their takes, their honest takes on things that you did not know about. If you like something in the past and you see someone's take and they're honest, that you have something to gain from it, because guess what? They might tell you something like, okay, I still like it, but yeah, this had a problem. Or hell, you'd be like, hey, I like this episode, but you made me love it because you appreciated all of the finer details. I'm not a Star Wars channel. I don't have to suck this show's dick when I don't have to, because there are, Lord knows, we aren't shy of Star Wars channels out there that need Star Wars to thrive so that they can make a living. I don't need that. I'm here to tell the truth. You can like it or lump it. It's not my problem. Alright? I'm here to make videos. I'm here to entertain. This is what I thought of Mandalorian Season 7, Episode... Sorry. This is what I thought of Mandalorian Season 6... Sorry. Fuck! This isn't scripted. It's off the cuff again because fuck this show. It doesn't deserve my scripts. This was my review. Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 7. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Please have something intelligent to say. I appreciate it. And have a nice day, all of you. Whatever. Alright? Thanks for staying till the end of the video. You are a legend, and I'll see you next time.